Hey everyone, Dwayne Edwards here with VMHA. Thrilled to be back here for another deep conversation. Today's conversation is really exciting. We're going to go into some detail with the special guest I have. Before we get too far, I'd love for Jolrancy to introduce himself to our audience. Jolrancy, please share. Whatever you'd like to share about yourself, in addition to your service.
Hey, it's great to be here, Dwayne, man. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate,
Thanks for being here.
yeah, definitely, definitely. So I'm Jolrancy. I'm an Army vet, um, 46 years old. Um, let's see, married, got kids and everything like that. So I came across your service and everything with the help of ChatGPT. Um,
Okay.
just to kind of, yeah. But I um, was an 82 Charlie in the Army. That's a
All right.
field artillery surveyor.
I appreciate you breaking that down for our non-army people out there. So you said
Yeah,
field artillery.
yeah, field artillery surveyor. Yeah, so I was
Okay.
like basically like a forward observer, and we used the pad system to make sure that the howitzers and everything were level to be able to shoot out and stuff like that.
Excellent.
hmm
And
Yeah.
what years did you serve, Joe Rancy?
It was during the Gulf, so it was 97 to 2000.
Excellent. Excellent.
hmm
All right. So Joe Rancy, one of the joys I have with the work that we do with VMHA is I get to do the fun stuff. I get to, connect with the community. I get to really engage, build relationships. And if I'm lucky, I get a chance to kind of circle back and have these conversations. So I'll share a little bit of a tease sort of to our audiences that, this is actually a success story that's near and dear to my heart, and I want Joe Rancy to kind of talk about, how we connected in a little bit but we I think it was last year, was it maybe the summer time frame
hmm
around when we first connected.
hmm
How do we connect for the first time, Joe Rancy?
So I was going through really hard time, um, just like mentally, physically. My body wasn't cooperating right. You know what I'm saying? And my mental wasn't either. And at that time, I was trying to um, figure out a way because I had been a truck driver. I had owned a truck for the last
Yeah.
15 years. Um, so I'm sure we'll go into like my injuries and stuff like that from the military. But over time, being a truck driver made my injuries worse,
Mm-hmm.
um, to where I had to come out of the truck, and I was having a hard time being able to survive. You know, just being able to the mental strain of being able to figure out how to take care of my family and everything else was just really, really hard. Especially not being able to get into the workforce.
Yeah.
Um, I I had drove a truck because of my injuries, and not being able to be around other people and stuff like that. So I was going through a hard time, really
Yeah.
hard time, and I was using ChatGPT to try to figure out um, what I needed to do to try to um, be able to get the help that I needed.
Yeah.
So um, it recommended, um, through the process of uh, being able to build my case for the VA, that I seek out help for being able to get a Nexus letter and to be able to um, get the diagnosis that I needed, you know, to be able to get me to where I needed to get. So it recommended you, um, because I asked it to pull up services or whatnot. And when I went to the website, man, your website is so informative. that it was like you were making it so that I didn't even have to use you. Really, really, because it's got so much stuff on there, you know what I'm saying? But um, I I called I called your team, and man, your team is awesome. It really
I
is.
appreciate you saying that.
It really is, you know, and from the very first, interaction, I felt like I was being heard because I know that I was sitting on the phone and I'm telling um almost my life story, you know what I'm saying, or whatnot, and it helped a lot though. It helped a lot once I got connected with you, man. Being able to speak to another veteran and to be able to feel understood and to get that guidance that you gave me. Um, it put me into a place to where I knew that I could be okay and that I could go ahead and get the help that I needed because I really needed help. My mental frame was not good. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So at that time, um, you told me like I'm gonna shoot you over some mental health places and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that I could start. My case is one thing, but my being able to live is another, is what you
that's
were
right.
saying. I got to
That's
be
right.
able to live and be okay. And that helped. That helped. So I started doing that. You
Amazing.
know, I definitely did. I reached out and I started doing the mental health counseling and stuff like that. And it was building my case, but also giving me the help that I needed.
Exactly right.
You know what I'm saying? So to be able to make it through the period of time until um, to where I am now. Because I think at that time I was like 40%, and
Yep.
I was not able to live off of that.
Yeah.
Um, and it that's very stressful.
That's
That's
right.
very stressful. And so that's how I found um you, you know what I'm saying? And after connecting with you, um that's where the journey kind of really began.
Yeah. Man, I mean, I appreciate you on behalf of the audience. I know our audience listening or watching appreciates you sharing your
Mhm.
story with them and with me, and the trust that you gave us as an organization. That means a lot to us. So we're grateful to have been in partnership with you to be able to support you. And there's a few things I want to touch on that you mentioned there. First thing, so many of us, leave service not recognizing how we've been impacted, but we know, hey, I don't really want to be around a lot of people, right? I want to figure out,
Mhm.
I need to work, I need to take care of myself and my family. And a lot of us actually go into truck driving, right? In fact, I know there's a
Yeah.
large group of veterans in the trucking community, appropriately so, because that's critical work. That's critical work. And I think a lot of us don't realize how much of commerce is driven, pun intended, by our trucking
Hmm.
community, right? I mean,
Right.
without we wouldn't have, the
Anything.
eggs in the supermarket and
Yeah.
all the things there. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, anything.
That's
Everything
right.
comes on the truck. Um,
That's right.
railways and trucks. So
That's right.
without it, the if you look at what happened during COVID-19,
Yeah.
like everything, the truck drivers were superheroes then. You know what
That's
I'm
right.
saying? But yeah, so like being able to it gave me the opportunity to be able to really take care of my family.
That's right.
Those 15 years, but
Yeah.
the the amount of toll it put on my body
Yeah.
is real too,
It is.
so
It is
mhm,
real. And the challenge and the other part of that too, which I'm so proud of you, brother, for doing it, man. Because I tell people all the time when they come to us, is there's two things we care about. Yes, our mission is to increase the quality of life and mental health of our veteran community, right? And we take that very
Mhm.
seriously. And a big part of that's getting your benefits, right? That's significant.
Yeah,
But another big part of that is also helping you take the first step towards care, right? And
yeah,
so the reason I love your story is because you did that, right? You said, you know what?
mhm,
Yes, I'm underrated. I'm not getting the rightful benefits, but I know for a fact that I need help. And
yeah,
you took that step to get help immediately. And we're, well, I don't forget, maybe 6 or 8 months back or beyond there, but you
mhm,
are, I hear it in your voice. We've spoken, man, at least 3 or 4 times now, maybe more since you first, started with us. But I could hear the difference in your voice
mhm.
from, from when we first talked, right?
Oh
I could hear,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. It's without a doubt. Like, from my words don't really explain the place I was in. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to go from there to where I am now, and it came from the help that I sought out.
That's right.
So, being like, I never wanted to be a zombie on
No,
medication, but I wanted to be able to talk my way and to be able to get through the toll of being a provider, being a
yeah,
father, being a husband, being everything, and all the stress that weigh
yeah,
on your shoulders, and not being able to think that I'm good enough for it. You know
that's
what I'm
right.
saying? So being
and
able
and not
to
and
meet
not
with
and not
somebody,
realizing and not realizing that when you're having mental health challenges, that makes
mm,
everything in life harder, right?
everything.
That
Yeah.
makes sleeping harder, that makes thinking harder, that makes communicating harder. Your desire to work out, take care of yourself, have
Hmm.
functional supportive relationships, it makes everything harder. So you're tackling life, like in, army taught you to adapt, overcome, push on, march on, all those great things. Not recognize that, life is like, listen, life is already hard, right? Like, regardless of where you're at, what you're doing, life can be really hard. But when you're having mental health challenges on top of life being hard, it makes it even harder. And that's where you were at the time, right?
Yeah,
And
well,
so,
it doesn't
yeah, go
it
ahead.
doesn't go it doesn't go away. Like,
Yep.
I still have, because I have trouble sleeping. You know, I I'm I I'm going through PTSD,
Mm,
um, major depressive disorder. So I still have those strains,
yep.
but being able to talk and go through therapy, um, with life stance. I've been
Yeah.
going through life stance, and being able to work through things without, because sometimes I can't say to my wife what I could say to my therapist,
Yeah.
and to be able to get that out is a big step to being
Yeah.
able to make it so that my relationship with her is okay, and my
Yeah.
relationship with my kids is okay,
That's huge.
because like I was keeping all the weight inside,
Yep.
and it was just building and building and building to where I couldn't function. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I couldn't function. You know what I'm saying? And then the tolls of not being able to produce financially and everything else on top of it, and it was very, very overwhelming. Very, very overwhelming. So going through the process and being able to get the financial relief
Yeah.
helps so much, because then it's about me making myself better,
That's right.
and me getting to a point to where I can be able to function to an extent, um, and be okay. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That's a big relief. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but it doesn't go away. It's still here. I still have to deal with the day-to-day aspects of my injuries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the things that I go through. But I'm definitely able to see light at the end of the tunnel, you know.
That's huge. I'll tell
Hmm.
you, one of the things I learned, when I was in therapy, uh, the luggage, the stuff you have going with you, as you rightfully said, Joe Rance, it doesn't go away, but you learn tools, right? And you learn
Yeah,
different ways of being able to manage them. So now
yeah,
instead of dragging, this 50-pound boulder, you put that bad boy on skates. You
yeah,
could move a little more freely with it. It's still with you, but now you can recognize the triggers, right? You can
yeah,
recognize, how you react to certain things and find it and nip in the bud earlier, and or give yourself some room when you're feeling a little overwhelmed, or you know that you're going in a not productive place, right? And so there's different things that you can do now that I tell you, I didn't know how to do those things back then, right? Just always reacted. And so that's powerful, man. That's very, very powerful.
hmm,
Uh, let's get into, now, so you were at 40% before, right?
yeah.
And what was your mental health rating at the time?
I didn't have one.
Did not have one. That's
No,
right.
my injuries um at that time were for scars. So I got into a bad car wreck during my service time. And I mean a really, really bad car wreck. And
Yeah.
my car I went off the road, hit a tree, and a car rolled like 3 times, you know what I'm
Wow.
saying? They had to use the jaws of life to get me out of the car. So the the accident happened around midnight. They didn't find me till like 6 in the morning,
Oh, wow.
so I was, yeah, so you know, it was a very bad wreck, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it shattered my pelvic and my left femur, and they um they ended up putting a rod in my leg, screws, and like 10 pins in my pelvic bone.
Okay.
So I have a lot of hardware, which over time when it happened, I was so young because I went into the service when I was 16, just turning 17.
Okay.
Um, so over time, I had got it up to 40% just based on um, pain, but I was dealing with, and I because I was still able to at that time, like I said, provide, you know what I'm saying, for myself and in life and stuff. Um, but um, I sat at 40% for a very long time.
Yeah.
Um, a very long time. And it was, I think, because I kept telling myself, uh, it'll be okay. I can make it,
Mm,
instead of trying to think ahead of where I'll be once my injuries make it so that I can't function no more.
mm-hmm.
And in the moment, I was thinking in my head, I'm doing it. I'm I'm making it, but I got to the point where I couldn't do it no more. You know what I'm saying? So the 40% was just based off of my injuries. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So when I didn't have a mental health rating or anything like that at the time, all the way up until I found your service and everything.
Yeah. And what's
Hmm.
and you went through the process. You were successful. And what's the rating you have now?
For mental health, it's at 70%. Um, and my overall rating combined is 100 PNT.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely.
And, and the amazing thing about that, Joel Rancy, these are funds that you earned, right?
Yeah,
It's not a freebie. These are funds that you earned, you deserved, you through your service, through your sacrifices. right? And then you weren't getting those funds, and these were just benefits that through thankfully you allowing us to support you, that we were able to capture your story, capture your evidence appropriately, to ensure that you are getting the precise amount of benefits that you deserve to again increase your quality of life, to ensure that you're able to move forward in a stronger fashion for you and your family.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things that I wanted to touch on because the the platform that you have, the app and everything is set up so that I was able to get the lay letters from my family and I was able
Yeah,
to get my mental health records once I start doing the therapy. And I was able to get um because I started doing the physical therapy through the VA. I started doing the mental health with my
yeah,
counselor and I was able to get all that and upload it into the system so that once I met with the psychiatrist for the Nexus letter and everything, she was able to really see the whole case,
that's
the
right.
whole picture, and be able to tie everything together the right
Yeah,
way so that when the Raiders see the Nexus letter and they're able to piece it all together correctly and say, yes, this is the overall picture. This isn't just one piece of it.
yeah,
Then the psychiatrist is able to go through all that and really be able to explain why it matters for you to be where you where you need to be, you know.
that's right.
So yeah, so it made it a lot easier, um the platform that you have, you know, to be able to upload all of it and you know, um to be able to you know, be able to piece it all together,
Yeah,
so that the VA really knows what's going on because they didn't know all this time what was going on with me.
that's right.
So yeah, so once they saw what was really going on, and you know, um, I think I when I first got out of the service, because after I got after I got with the psychiatrist and everything, and I got my letter, I went through the VSO that y'all, you know, you recommended me get a VSO, and I went through Texas Commission,
Yeah,
um, and um, you know, filed my claim and everything like that, and so it was it the system that you have basically is what I'm trying to say is set up so that you'll win. You know what I'm saying? If you just don't try to take the um don't try to take just the one part, but piece
mm,
all of it together, you know what I'm saying, and show a full picture so
yeah,
that you're not just doing one little stab at a time. You need for them to see the overall picture, you know?
that's right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And I mean, so you hit on a few things, Joe Ransom. First off, shout out to Texas Veteran Commission, you know, and the VSOs out there doing amazing, hard, challenging work for our community within Texas and outside of Texas. But we all know we're biased. We're a little biased towards Texas because you know we're headquartered in Texas, and Texas is home for VMHA. But no, we got a lot of great VSOs out there that a lot of times they get you know a bad rap, right? And you know many of them have you know a lot of clients on their table on their plate, and it's hard to work through it. We know that most of them, their heart's in the right place, and it's about resources
Yeah.
and tools. I'm grateful
Yeah.
to connect you with you know a great VSO that was able to help you and help you move forward. I think
Mhm.
you touched on something very very important, which is you know our comprehensive assessment or system, right? The reality is, I never speak badly about the VA because I know the VA has a tough job. right? And the
Yeah.
VA is a tough job. And the VA also operates in a distributed fashion. They operate regionally, and the different regional, kind of segments kind of process and function and go through that thing. But the reality is that they're uh, more often than not, there are data points that we know the VA cares about that they just sometimes don't have the time to be able to dive deeply into, and that's why we built our system this way because we know we can be an ethical advocate for our community without having to make anything up. All we have to
Hmm.
do is ensure that we're getting the right amount of data from our community. So that's why we sent you a comprehensive pre-assessment form that you're able to sit down and fill out and tell us about how you were
Hmm.
before, during, after service. You're able to tell us about issues impacting you socially, legally, medically, occupationally, the full gamut, because we know the VA cares about these points, right? We sent you some nationally recognized mental health screeners that looks at you across trauma response, anxiety, and depression. Again,
Hmm.
because we're building quantitative and qualitative evidence, right? Reviewing your DD-214, any mental health treatment notes, if, any your service-connected disability list, blue button report, all that stuff. And we do ask our psychologists to be able to review all of that within
Hmm.
48 hours of your assessment. So by the time you're sitting there virtually with your psychologist, they've already reviewed all your data. So now they're able to focus solely on you and how you've been
Hmm.
impacted, right? So that's the way you experience. And I love hearing this reflected back because we designed it that way, and we designed it
Yeah.
to be the most comprehensive option out there without our community paying an arm and a leg or paying their benefits because we won't even get into that. There's a lot of folks out there doing different things, but for
And a
us,
lot of money, a
that's
lot
right.
of money to
That's
do
right.
something that is really in some aspects of what veterans are kind of having to do to
Yeah.
feel heard. Um, the Texas Commission, my VSO is a Marine, like he
Oh,
was,
no wonder he was squared away.
yeah, yeah, he was a Marine, yeah, and he when I went to him, man, I had everything for the case,
Yeah.
and I'm giving him the stuff, and he's like, "What is this? And what is this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, so blah blah blah." And he was like, "Okay," because he could see that we really built a real case
That's right.
for what was going on for me.
That's
You
right.
know what I'm saying? So, or going on with me, so you have to document everything and show that paper trail because like they're not they're not crazy. They know if you really have going on what you say you have going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to um, go into it with that aspect of honesty to where you're telling people vulnerable stuff,
That's right.
and you have to be vulnerable so that and not have the persona of I'm strong, I'm
That's
this,
right.
I'm that. You have to talk about your bad days and
Yeah.
how bad it really is. You know what
That's
I'm
right.
saying? And I did. I went. I did the physical therapy, and I I did all the other stuff that so that it was documented in my records.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so when you put it all together, it's a very strong case. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
And it
And
took
and
me,
oh, go ahead. No, please.
yeah, it took me, I think I filed because I put my intent to file in last year, and then
Okay.
I went to the Texas Commission, I think in January,
Mm,
and from because um I initially had put in for my back before, but it was
yep.
denied. and I went through my CFP exams and everything, and it got overturned. So it it
Awesome.
it it, it jumped me up from the 40 within that from January to April time, um, to be able to go to that 100%, you know.
Excellent.
So yeah, with my mental health, because I'm diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder and major depressive disorder, and that that 70% rating, so VA math is weird, you know what I'm saying, and everything. So it's stressful, man. But because like I done called you like worried, so like I know you hold it back a little bit, but like how bad I really was, but like um it's stressful, but the process is going a lot faster now too. You know, you had told me like the things that I was really concerned about weren't things to be concerned about, and that you were able to get things through in a few months, especially being here in a state to where they actually care about veterans.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it it all went
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
well to be able to allow me to heal, to take care of myself, to get myself back so that my I can build my base and go up. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. That's exactly right. And that's the intent, right? Like
Hmm.
we hear the stories that people talk about, homelessness, divorce, suicide, employment, right? Unemployment, all these, challenges that disproportionately impact our veteran community. And a lot of folks are like, okay, well, what's the root cause? Well, more often than not, the root cause is mental health, right? And
Yeah.
so, and if folks aren't getting the mental health treatment they need, if they're not in a place to receive the benefits that they deserve, then how can they move forward, right?
Right.
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 And so I think Jolrancy, you're living proof, right, of where you were last year to where you are now in terms of what happens when our community is able to get the benefits they deserve, when they're able to get the treatment they need, that they
Hmm.
we are able to move forward and be able to do more in our lives, right? And that's the reason that we built VMHA, because we felt that we were just missing a piece, right? We're looking superficially at what's going on, but not digging down deep enough to understand what the root cause is. Um, and not to mention the folks out there charging 5 to 6x your increase, or charging 20, 30%, and that kind of thing. And we're fundamentally against those practices, because we
Yeah.
know that if we help the Joel Rancys of the world get their benefits, that means that those funds are going to be used for you to move forward in your journey, and for you and your family. And we want no parts of that, right? That's just fundamentally against
Yeah.
who we are. And we don't understand why so many people think that's okay to operate that way. That's a separate conversation. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. How so
Yeah.
when
It's
you
a lot of
how long
veterans, a lot of veterans hurting when I was
oh, looks like cutting in and out a little bit. Can you
going
hear me?
I was at the hospital, at the VA hospital. You know, it's, the veterans talk. You know what I'm saying? And I was just listening to their stories and stuff like that, and
Yep.
I'm like, dang, like I'm not the only one, you know, and
Yep.
to be able to be able to recommend and just tell people, because like it's exactly what you said, to where
Looks like it's cutting in and out a little bit. Did I lose you? I think I may have lost Jolrancy. All right. Well, knowing him, he's going to probably call back in. This is my first time having someone have technical difficulties on the call. Um, but it's the first time for everything, and we're gonna work through it. Uh, Let me see while he's doing that. No, this is what I love about these conversations, is truly this is we're able to share. I'm so grateful for the people that volunteer to come on these calls with us and are willing to share and be vulnerable about their experience, what they experience or what they are currently experiencing, and how they came to VMHA, and also sharing, where they are now. I think there's no better uh, participant, right? There's no better person to tell the story than people like Jolrancy, to be able to share, their experience with our community. And so, Jolrancy, glad we got you back.
Yeah, my phone died on me, man. I
Oh
apologize. I
man,
looked. I said, man, what happened? I'm talking, and then the screen went out, and then I looked. I said, oh man, yeah.
hey man, no need to apologize, man. I appreciate you. Listen, we got to roll with it, right? And so we
Yeah,
roll with life and we adjust, and it's all good. But
yeah.
I think it cut off. And you were saying that's the reason that, and I didn't hear anything else after that.
Oh, that I was able to tell other veterans about
That's
the
right.
service. You know what I'm saying? And to be able to give the information because like what I was trying to get to is that it's one thing to go to somebody just to get a letter,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't care about you. But it's
Mm-hmm.
another thing to go to a veteran's service that really cares. And you can tell they care because of the
Yep.
stuff that they're helping you get through. You know what I'm
That's right.
saying? It's not just about you're gonna get this money or whatever, but let's help you get better,
That's right.
and that's what your organization is,
That's right.
so I I deeply appreciate what y'all have helped me to be able to get to this point so that I could take that have a little relief to be able to get myself to where I need to be. You know what I'm saying? And I
That's right.
definitely appreciate that.
No, we appreciate you, man. I say this proudly. I know that every person that works within VMHA, every member of our team, feels the exact same way about our community. Right? I had a Slack conversation just yesterday with one of our psychologists, who we found out that a recent client was denied, and we're trying to figure out what happened. And her first response was, "Hey, what do you need from me? How can I advocate for this veteran?" Right? And it's
Mm,
when you have people like that on the team that are aligned in terms of the mission, the vision, the values of the organization. It just makes it so much easier for us to be able to communicate that authentically, because there's
mm,
no need, no one's acting, right? Like, and that's part of
yeah.
how that's a filter we use to figure out who's a good fit for VMHA, from anywhere from, whether you're, I don't care what your role is, whether you're a psychologist or admin. Everyone
Mm,
has to have that shared, everyone has to believe in the mission of the organization, everyone has to have compassion for our community, everyone has to want to lift up our veteran community. And
yeah.
that's a necessary, like, you can't get around that.
Yeah, well, definitely because like I found it hard to be able to kind of express things, and my memory ain't my memory ain't that great and stuff,
Yeah.
you know. So I it's hard for me to be able. That's why I chose to drive a truck. You know what I'm saying? So that I wouldn't have to deal with uh people. I can't work in a warehouse. I
Yeah.
can't. I can't. I can't do all those type of things. You know what I'm saying? And I was in that truck, and I was by myself, and in a sense, it made it worse.
Mm.
But I wasn't able to um my limits with dealing with society and stuff like that was it was weighing, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you know, to be able um to to function right, you know what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
um to to get everything in the right order or whatnot is it's a big thing, you know what I'm saying? To helping for um um the veterans, you know what I'm saying? To be able to tell them, hey, this is what I did and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? So like I definitely wanted to come on and to really let people know, in my words, you know what I'm saying, how much um, VMHA really does care about veterans. You know what I'm saying? Because like I've I've called you and on the weekend and it's late, you know what I'm saying? You like, yo, you know, what do you need? How can I help? You know what I'm saying? And so I've definitely um um I've definitely picked your brain to be able to know how to proceed. You know what I'm saying? And being able to be around people who actually care. What I was trying to get to, my brain act weird sometimes, but I had
It's
a
all
I
good.
think a brain fart, you know. Um, but to actually get around people who care and will take you by the hand and say, hey, this is what you need to do. And if you do this, we'll try to get you there. You know what I'm saying? And then if it doesn't get there, what do we need to do as the next steps to
That's
be
right.
able to say, no, this veteran really does need this help?
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that's a testament to what you were saying. For some people, um, may get that denial letter or may get this or that and then still go forward from that point
That's
because
right.
that's not the last step, you know what I'm
Exactly
saying?
right.
So I think if you work through the process though, you'll get to where you need to be, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Mhm.
Man, Jolrancy, this has been just during the time that you were working through your phone battery. I was telling the folks how amazing it is to be able to have people like you come on and share their stories and just be vulnerable and just honest about what you're experiencing, and that means so much more than there's no way I could equate to that, right? Because that's a personal, true testament coming directly from you. And so we VMHA is always grateful when folks volunteer. And you were like, I remember when we spoke on the phone, and I think the second time you called to kind of share your appreciation, I said, hey, would you be open to doing a video call? You were like, "Yeah,
Anything,
that's right.
anything,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
anything, man. Like because like I don't think people really understand the way you help me. Um, you know what I'm saying? So like, because when I was talking to you, man, like when I first started the process and stuff with VMHA and stuff like that, it wasn't about it wasn't about me just getting some money.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It was about me being alive in a year. You know what I'm saying? Me being able to get through life.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And
that's right.
uh, you really helped me. So like there's nothing that I wouldn't, especially knowing that your frame of mind and your all the people that work with you's frame of mind isn't just financially based, is
That's right.
how can we help? You know what I'm
That's right.
saying? So there wasn't nothing that I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, to be able to put veterans that are in situations similar to me in the right direction to where they could get real help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah. And to be able to know the steps that they need to go through, because building a real case that you won't get denied consists of taking the time beforehand of processing it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Of being able to build up that paper trail.
that's right.
So, and to give them everything that they need to say, no, this is real. This
Yeah,
is what's really going on. And if all these multiple people are saying it, who are we not to say it? You know, so
yeah.
um, but definitely, man, I definitely appreciate you, you know.
100%, man. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. Right back at you. I'm grateful that
Mhm.
we're in a position now, right? And so that goes without saying.
Yeah.
We're about to start wrapping up now, Joe Rancy. Is there anything, any parting words you'd like to share? Let me make sure I got all my. I did. Any last message you'd like to share with the veteran slash military community before we wrap up?
Yeah, just don't give up. You know what I'm saying? On the case, but on yourself, is the bigger side of that. Because the people that care about you need you. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So you gotta take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So don't give up. Um, don't give up, and just if you can make it to that next day, you know what I'm saying? My dad used to tell me, Ram, just do the next best thing.
Mm.
You know, so just don't give up, man, and everything will work through.
Just do the next best thing. Wise words. Wise
Yeah,
words, from your dad. And that's a powerful message, directly from you, Joe Rancy, to our community. Don't give up, right? We know that many of us are in different moments, different seasons of life, and some moments can feel darker than others. But
mhm,
I think that's a real powerful thing to just be able to take the next step, right?
yeah,
Whatever that is for you, take the next step. So super powerful, Joe Rancy. It's been a honor and a privilege to get to know you, to be able to serve you, support you, and it warms my heart to see you and know that you're in a better place now. It absolutely
yeah.
does. And so I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. Thank you for sharing your story with our community. And thank you all for watching slash listening to Joe Rancy's story about how VMHA was able to help him not just get the benefits he deserves, but also move forward in his quality of life and to start living a life that he deserves. Thank you all.
Mhm. Thanks.